We're getting closer and closer to the first test against the West Indies. Thursday doesn't look so far away, and we're obviously going to be doing a preview tomorrow, a massive preview. We're going to be having the Caribbean podcast guy on the show as well to come help us out and to come talk about his team and obviously the young team that they have selected for the squad. Some interesting names in there that he can break down for us and give us some more insight into that. We'll be obviously taking the place of talking about South Africa, talking about the teams, and talking about more of the approach. But tonight it's your night. Tonight it's about the fans. The fans are going to be able to pick their Proteas Test 11. Now, I don't want you guys to necessarily worry about a quota and all of those type of things because we don't know what the numbers are over the season so far. So it's a bit unfair to maybe pick a team just according to quotas at the moment. So you guys have a free reign to pick who you want to. It's up to you guys to vote in the comment section for who you want to play in this particular game. And it's all about the first test. So I'm going to need some moderators in the back over here to be helping us out and to help me count up the tally and to see who's going to be in the teams, etc., because it's going to get completely chaotic. Now, I don't want you guys to put your full teams in the comment section because then I will never be able to get to them. What I want you guys to do is we're going to be going through each position. We're going to start with the openers, and you guys can pick each position. So from 1 till 11, we will go through each and every one of them, and then I'll put up the combined 11 on the screen when we are done. So I'm going to bring on our guests. We will start the initial vote, and you guys will be the deciders. So let's get into that, and let's talk about who your Proteas 11 will be for the first test against the West Indies. All of that next. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is again your daily show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is the show that we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. I'm smiling because you guys are quite funny, and I love your comments in the comment section. We're gonna be having, as you can see, we have a pretty full panel tonight. We're gonna be basically as a team, us and you guys, fans of the Proteas, we're going to be picking a combined test 11, and then I'm going to put it on social media afterwards to see what the rest of the fans that have not tuned into the show have to say about it. So let's get into it. We're going to be talking about it. We see there who wants Khalid to get Aditya's haircut. There's no vote for that tonight, guys. There's no vote tonight. Because I don't think Aditya's haircut will suit me necessarily. Aditya pulls it off because he has the swag for it. So I'm not going to be able to pull off that particular haircut, guys. I don't think so. So we're not going to be picking with the quota system, with the quota rules, because it doesn't make sense to pick for the quota rules for a particular team like this when you want to combine the best 11 and talk about the best 11. Because I think the quota system, of course, is over a period of time. They will know the numbers, and according to that, they will pick the team. I see Bevan's in the comments, and you normally are very good at helping us tally up the numbers, so please help us out when you vote. You guys can all vote for the team that you want to see hit the field against the West Indies. Now, I think we can get in it. I think we can get into it, and we can start chatting about everything with regards to this. But first and foremost, welcome to the show, guys. Aditya, how's it? Mpo, Sepo, welcome back again. Great to see your faces. How are you guys doing? How's your week started? Let's start with Aditya. How's your week gone so far, bro?
Yeah, it's been all right. We've had some heavy rains again forecast for Mumbai, so yeah, fun times. But yeah, otherwise it's good to be watching live cricket with England and New Zealand. Tests are just concluded, and South Africa and West Indies coming up.
Awesome, man. Mpo, it's great to see you again. Guys, great to see you. This time I didn't wait like a whole month before I saw your face. So this time it's only been a couple of days a week. So how are you doing?
I'm okay. Teppo and I started a new podcast yesterday, so that's gonna be fun.
Awesome.
And yeah, today I was doing commentary on the Kwibuka T20 series, the women's T20 series in Rwanda. That was pretty good to watch. Botswana lose to Namibia, which is really sad because as a Botswana man, I was hoping they would win, but that was good.
Excellent. Seppo?
How's it, everybody? Yeah, my week's been pretty interesting. The basketball's been interesting. The cricket's been interesting. Ultimate Frisbee's also started in America there, so I've been spoiled for choice when it comes to sports. And yeah, we have crickets
Where do
on
we watch
Thursday.
Ultimate Frisbee?
Oh, you have to watch highlights on the channel is AUDL, American
Okay.
something Disc League, American Ultimate Disc League, I think. Yes, yeah. So check it out on YouTube. Very spectacular stuff. I won't lie. I'll send links in the comments now. Actually,
Awesome. Yeah, the Euros are coming up soon as well, so that's also interesting. That's going to be very exciting. Oh, the tax in the league this year, in that Europa League, Europa League, in the Euro, in the Euros this year look excellent. I mean, especially when you look at France. For me, the pick of the attacks of France, Portugal, and I would even throw England in there if they pick correctly, because easily they can pick. I don't trust Southgate with these selections, so. That's another talk for another. That's another talk for another day. So let's get into the voting, guys. Let's go to the voting of this particular team. Let's start with the two openers. I think it's pretty easy, that one. Who should open? I think that Kagiso Rabada and Anik Nokia should open the batting for South Africa. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I vote for Anrich, actually. Elongate, make the batting lineup a little longer.
Yeah, so let's go with Dean and Aiden. I think that's the general vote for everybody. Let's just see in the comment section if that is true. You guys can just vote.
Unless if someone wants Sarah Advia.
Unless someone wants Sarah Advia to start.
But obviously you can't drop the captain. So how does this work? Do we slot in the captain? Is he automatic?
Yeah, I think the captain will be an automatic, but I think generally speaking, that's why I didn't really worry about it, because most people will say Aiden and Dean probably. So let's see. And it's three of us on the screen are saying Aiden and Dean. So already we hold the majority votes. So it's four of us. So there's 4 votes already in the pot for Dean and Aiden. We've got one from Taha saying Aiden and Dean. So that's 1 vote over there. Let's see who the other guys say so far.
I think Vishal says Elga and Aiden.
Elga and Aiden. Yeah, okay, cool. That's
Yes.
2.
And Abhijit Sarma says Markram and Alga.
Yep, there we go. It's clear vote. I mean, I think I see everybody saying Aiden and Dean. So okay, cool. So Aiden and Dean for the 2 openers. Let's go. And I'm compiling it over here. I'm compiling it over here so that I can download it when you guys are ready. You guys can actually talk and give me some time to do that later, so that I can download it and it can be smooth on the stream. It doesn't look like I'm doing too much stuff and there's not too many breaks in the production. Aditya, I mean, as an I would say as an Indian fan, you can say a guy that's also a Proteas fan, of course, but that partnership of Dean and Aiden, it hasn't been the best over the last couple of years, or not over the years, over the last couple of series so far. It's either one of them that has performed, not in tangent, and we're waiting for that particular time to come. Even when the Australia series happened, it was Aiden that was performing, and then when Aiden didn't perform, then Dean performed, and it's always been up and down with the 2 of them. What is your take on them? What do they have to do to be able to put together a partnership consistently as the 2 opening pair, to be able to put on 200, 250 on the board consistently?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because we know that both are quality players and both have done incredibly well in Test cricket over a long period of time. Where they've probably struggled is on challenging wickets. And if you look at the Test series that South Africa has played in over the last couple of years, they've generally been confronted with the toughest of conditions, and they've been batting at the toughest of times against quality bowling lineups. So somewhere I just feel like both of them need some time in the middle and they need to get. I think they need a little bit of luck going their way as well. But essentially, I think both really just need to spend as much time as they can in the middle. I don't know how else they're going to get that confidence to be able to bat consistently. And it looks like from what Charles Lagerweld has said, as well as what Lungi said, it looks like they're up for another tough test series coming up in the West Indies as well. So, yeah, I can only hope that they get opportunities to really spend time in the middle and get big hundreds.
I see a question over here in the comments about the new title sponsor. From as far as I know, that Betway is the new title sponsor of the Proteas. So that's going to be the new title sponsor of the Proteas.
Betway Test Series. It's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to move on to the next one. Let's go to the.
Can I say something on Alga and Aiden?
Of course,
just quickly. I think take heart in the fact that for the Titans in those last 2 games they played when they came back from Pakistan, they had some very strong partnerships inside there. And also Dean in that final batted really well in Durban, where it was just a struggle for guys to bat on. So I think from a partnership perspective, I'm happy for the both of them because they played together at domestic level. It's just at times, you don't. And the thing about cricket is when you wake up in the morning and you feel fine, you get to the ground, you feel fine, you're confident with your partner. They haven't run each other out, so I'm happy about that. But sometimes you just get to the crease and then Aiden's batting incredibly well, but Dean's just not seeing it the same way Aiden is. So I think that's where the thing comes in. But as Harshit says, the average is 35 as an opening pair. I take that, especially with you batting a lot of times in South Africa. But I'm hoping that Dean with the captaincy might just do a little bit more. We want that Dean that scored the double century in India as captain. That was fun.
Yeah. You see, I'm listening to Lungi today as well. He spoke about the outfield being a bit slow. So running between the wickets, hard between the wickets is going to be very important. And I think that for these two, if they can work on that a little bit better, run between the wickets a little bit better, will take a lot of pressure off them in the beginning 5-10 overs. Something that me and obviously Aditya has been speaking about for quite some time, the way the Proteas run between the wickets, especially also in white ball cricket as well. But in Test cricket, it can also work. It can also take pressure off them if they just make sure that they do that frequently. It can really help them. Chepo, you wanted to say something? Sorry, I heard it as I started speaking.
No worries. I was just going to add to what Umpo was saying. That it's good that we have a solid partnership now, or partnership at the beginning or at the beginning of the innings that we're very sure about, very confident about. And there's no chopping and changing at the top of the innings. So it's good that these 2 spots are cemented for not just the partnership itself, but for the entire squad, just to maintain some structure.
Mm-hmm. And one thing really quickly is that we don't know how the weather is going to influence strategy. Because if the weather is changing as dramatically as Lungi says it is, then I don't think we're going to have conventional test match batting. I think they're going to want to score as quickly as possible to ensure that very rain doesn't spoil sport.
Well, then they should have called Ryan Rickleton. He's scoring at a massively quick rate right now.
Ryan actually pushing up in the pecking order with regards to getting a Proteas call up now.
Saro Advia's not touring again. Ryan Rickleton joining that right up and doing it.
I mean, Ryan's been excellent in all formats, and not just in the longer format currently. So very good, and surprisingly for the Lions,
another reserve wicketkeeper.
Exactly. I hope that they don't do that with him because I think Kyle is a better wicketkeeper than Ryan, to be honest. And when you see him for the Lions, they've got a young Joshua Richards as well there. That's also knocking on that's going to be knocking on the door next season. I think hopefully he healed very well from his injury as well. And he comes back stronger next season. Yeah, guys, let's go into the next position. I mean, number 3. This can be a little bit controversial because we can either go with what the Proteas have gone for before, which is like basically Rassie van der Dussen, or they can go for someone new in Keegan Peterson, batting him there in his correct position. So, guys, let's vote. Let me know what you guys think. Who should bat number 3 for the Proteas? Let's start on the screen. Aditya, your number 3 pick.
Rassie Van der Dussen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Seppo, agreeing?
I second that as well. Rassie van der Dussen has to bat at 3.
I go the other
Okay.
way. I go Keegan Peterson at 3.
Oh,
And I'm gonna and I'm gonna say Rassie at 3. I want to protect Keegan in his first test. Rather bat him down the order a little bit. I know he's at
we've
the
got
age
3
maybe that
Keegans here and 2 Rassies, a third Rassie here, so it's tied in the comments. There's a Donny van der Beek, but I don't think he
yes.
plays cricket.
Oh, Donny van der Beek has been ruled out from the Euros.
He's
I know he's
injured.
been ruled out. Don't tell me that because Holland's my team.
So Taha says Kyle at 3. So he probably wants Verena. We've got a
he's
KP, we've
outside.
got a Keegan, we've got a RVD. Keegan leads Rassie by 2. And Harshit says
Keegan.
correct, Khalid Keegan should bat at 4. So that's 1 for Rassie. So Rassie still behind by 1. Little Bucks gives us a Keegan. So that's Keegan up by 2.
There's Rassie at 3 again.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's-
Rassie's coming in at 3. When do you want to stop the count?
Well, until I see a
count.
name, I don't know when I want to stop the count. Rassie and Keegan. Okay, fine, guys. That's it. So you guys are putting Keegan at 3. So that's
And
going to
Can I tell you why I want him at 3? I watched
Please.
him in 2019 at Willamore Park against England in the warm-up game that England played, and they had like stomach bugs and everything else. And Keegan batted at number 3, and he was heads and shoulders the best batsman of that South African A side. And he was being bowled to by Sam Curran. I think Stuart Broad made it that game for a few overs. Mark Wood bowled that day. And he held his own. He did really, really well. Jimmy Anderson was swinging it both ways in Benoni, which was the first time I've ever seen. And he was solid. Everyone was falling apart. He was solid. He scored a century. And I was like, this kid is the future. And so I understand you want to protect him, but maybe the best way is for him to go in the cauldron and also surrounding him with senior players. You've got a future captain in Aiden in front of him. You've got the current captain in Dean at 1. Then you've got Temba behind him with Rassie, hopefully in that mix. So it's not as though he's going in blindly. He's going to have a senior batsman on the other end when he comes in. So I say KP at 3. I think he's like all the guys in the comment section are going to love Keegan Peterson when they see him bat. He's incredible.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been asking for him to bat in this lineup for a long time. And I think perhaps dependable on the pitch conditions, because I mean, Aditya, Lungi didn't really let us know what the pitch is doing, because obviously the pitch will obviously change a little bit when the test comes around, because they've just played on it. They'll obviously repair it over the next couple of days as well. So we're not sure what type of pitch it's gonna be, but it's the conditions that is gonna be the key factor. Whether the ball's gonna swing, whether the ball's gonna sit up, it depends on what is going to happen. So you guys have voted for KP at a 3, so I'll slot him in. Then it's the number 4 position, guys. Let's go around and speak about who's the number 4. The votes are all in, so we're cutting it off right now. Sorry for the guys that have come late on to the stream. If you guys are new here and you are on the stream for the first time watching these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos as well. We're getting closer and closer. We're 10 away from 2,000 subscribers, guys. So let's get it in. Let's get it in. Let's do this. So let's go with number 4. Okay, let's go across the screen. Let's start with Aditya again.
Rassie at 4. I guess he drops down a position.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Temba Bavuma at 4.
Okay.
But now that Keegan Peterson isn't at or isn't at 4 or at 5 where I was gonna put him, I think I'll have Rassie van der Dussen at 4. Rassie before Temba though.
Rassie at 4 for me.
Rassie at 4 for me. So that's 4 for us on the screen.
And then the side, I'll just go down. Bevan says Rassie at 4. Kaushdub says KP at 4, but I think we've passed that one. Afsal says Temba at 4, so we've got Rassie and Temba. Abhijit says Rassie at 4. Siddharth says Temba at 4. Jared Paul says Rassie at 4. Rassie's leading quite by a lot. Harshit says Keegan and Rassie 3-4. You can interchange. So I'll put Rassie at 4 for your vote, Harshit.
That's also true.
Vishal says Rassie at 4. Sadiq says number 4 Keegan. Taha says Temba at 4. Bevan says Rassie at 4. Harshit says Rassie at 4. So a lot of Rassies at 4. There is a case for Temba to bat at 4. I'd like to see him bat at 4. But that means one of the guys above him doesn't get a spot unless if someone else, yes. And I think as long as and the Lions have done this really well throughout the seasons with Rassie always batting in front of Temba. And I think it kind of works because you also want that partnership. You want to just build like cohesion as you go down the order, so that you know that guys know how to bat with each other. But look, I've always wanted Temba at 4. I think he needs an opportunity there. But I think let's not break something that let's not try and fix something that isn't broken. If Rassie doesn't do well at 4, then Temba will push up. But Temba bats well at 5. I think maybe leave him there.
Yeah, I agree with that. My points are exactly the same. That if Temba goes up the order, then someone has to drop out of that top, and then we can maybe make space for a youngster. Now, Rassie, how many years we can get out of him at this level? Because I think he's in his peak currently. He's like batting as good as he can bat. I don't think he'll improve too much. I think the only way he will improve slightly as he gets more experience against some other international teams. And once he susses them out, he'll be able to play a tad better, maybe convert better. But I don't think he's going to get crazily better. Like, I mean, I don't think the roof for him is like, I think his head is just under the ceiling. I think he's touching those little dangling lights currently. So he can get a little bit better, but I don't think as
but
much
it's
as
still
people
world class.
will think.
He hasn't scored a century yet.
No, I'm not saying he's not.
He's,
I'm just saying that sooner or later they're going to be. There's going to be some youngster that's going to come in and replace him. So either they do it before this test, they give him till the end of this. Then is he going to play in the next test championship? Like, what if he drops off form halfway through the test championship? Do you understand what I mean?
See why. Yeah, I see that there's an argument that Upo has made before about this age thing and it being a big deal. I mean, we're looking at Cristiano Ronaldo, who's into his 30s and he's doing well. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, as an athlete, has been called into the Sweden side and he continues to do well. So the amount of years that Rassie has to offer doesn't have to be limited to 2.
It doesn't, no.
My
concern is my concern with it. So with those players that you mentioned, Cristiano Ronaldo, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, they're performing at the top elite peak consistently for the last couple of years, and they still are performing at that peak. Rassie in Test cricket has just been doing enough to keep his spot currently for me in Test cricket. In T20 cricket and white ball cricket, he has been really good. That way, I see he can be there for the next possibly till the 2023 World Cup if he can continuously perform the way he has been performing, at least for the next 2 World Cups. But in Test cricket, for me, I think when you're a senior player that has been playing first class cricket for so long in the system and have been and I would expect them to come in and start hitting big runs. And you want your number 3 to score big centuries or continuously hit big centuries. And I hope he does it because I'm a big fan of his mentality. I'm a big fan of everything about Rassie. I love the person he is, the way he motivates the people around him. I've spoken to him on so many occasions and I love his vibe completely. I like the way he thinks about cricket and I love the way he supports the people around him. So in that dressing room, excellent personality to have. And the trophies he's won with the Lions, that also gives him an extra boost. I'm not saying that he's not going to be the guy, but what I'm saying is when there are guys like Keegan, when there's guys like Reiner van Toorn, if he does another season where he's scoring 900 runs in a domestic setup, in this competitive league that it's going to be next season, because it's going to be much more competitive this season around than it was for the couple of last 2-3 seasons, then I don't know what you do at that point. That's my question.
No, but so my thing is, why are we assuming that Rassi's the first man out of this 11?
Mm.
No,
Yes,
I'm not saying
there's guys
he's. I'm not
knocking
saying
on
he's
the-
the first. Even Temba has a lot.
No,
to
no,
prove.
I understand, and the both of them are the ones on the chopping block seemingly, because you've got Cal Verena, you've got Keegan Peterson waiting in the wings. But my situation is this: if you look at Rassi's career, Rassi only started playing Test cricket at the back end of 2019. He never played Test cricket before the Cricket World Cup in 2019. So he only started playing at 30. Then we got into COVID when he just started entering into the side. I think he's just gotten over 10 tests. And so far, we've all liked what we've seen. The only thing that he hasn't done is he hasn't scored a century. He's gotten a half century. His average isn't a shambles. So the question for me is, I understand he's gotten 10 tests. My question, if I was Mark Barcher, would be, these next 2 tests are important for you, Rassi. But what's more important for Rassi is, let's see him in this new format in August. If they aren't traveling to play the World Cup, whatever it is, if you can play domestic cricket, that's great. But for me, Rassi has to stay in the side because he's shown me the character that I want.
Yeah.
Over and above anything
That's
else.
why I
He
mentioned
is
that
my
part.
best batsman across all 3 formats. And struggle for me to drop him for someone else who's new, who's going to have to learn the role and everything else. I'd rather look to Temba and say, you've been here for 4 years, your runs haven't been the same. If you don't do well in this tour and the one at the end of then I'm bringing in Cal Verena. That's an easy conversation you can have. But yeah, I think Rassi needs at least this test series. If he bombs out in these 4 innings, then I doubt it. But
look, guys, I do not hate Rassi. Let's just tell the guys in the comments. I flippin' love Rassi. Rassi was the first person on the cover of my magazine when I started the digital magazine. The first person on the cover was Rassi van der Dussen. So I'm a massive Rassi van der Dussen fan. I'm not concerned about. I'm not saying that, he doesn't deserve to be there. 100% does deserve to be there. When you look at the top 5, on the last 5 years for the top run scorers, he's in that list, along with Eddie Moore, along with Sadal Irvi, along with Keegan Peterson, along with the likes of Zubair Hamza is right at the bottom of that list, if I remember correctly. Guys like Reina van Tonder haven't played in the last 5 years, so you can't really take it. But he's creeping up there with two seasons back-to-back 800 runs scored. It's incredible. So what I'm concerned about is not whether Rassi is good enough to play in this test team. My concern is the way the Proteas are planning for test championships. It's like they're not planning for test championships. They're picking whoever they can fill a spot with according to the necessity to want to win. Now, currently, that's Boucher's pressure. He needs to win, otherwise he's gone, because he has a 35% win rate or 33% win rate currently. So I know from that perspective you can maybe say that, but I'm just saying from this perspective, there's a lot of pressure from the fans around because of his win rate currently has been poor. Now, if Boucher continuously goes and loses, I mean, he's only won 3 matches, I think, in total, out of all the matches he played across formats. So, or 2 matches in total, if I can remember. One against England in the first test, and he played against England again, and he won a game against England. And then, did he win?
He beat Sri Lanka. He beat Sri Lanka.
So it's 3 games.
Twice.
So, but
yeah. But the thing for me here is, look, and you make a valid point. And if you look at the squad that was selected, look at that top middle order. The only backups there are Sadal Arvia. It's actually Sadal Arvia in that top 4. If Keegan Peterson plays, there's nobody backing him up.
Yeah.
Him or
and then you have Cal Verena down the order. Yeah.
Yes, and unless if you want to push Cal Verena up to 1, 2, or 3, which is unfair, And so that's where my issue's always been, is that when you're planning forward, the bowlers, we've got plenty spinners, we've got plenty fast bowlers, but we don't have a top order batsman. Reynard Fontonda is in Zimbabwe right now when he should be in the Caribbean. And so that's where the issue comes in with you. Your point, Khalid, is that I think from a planning perspective for the next 2 years, we don't know where we're going.
Yeah, that's my
this
point.
Test series does not give us an indication as, okay, fine, if Rassie doesn't do well, if Temper doesn't do well, who's coming in? Yes, we know Calvareno will come in, but that creates another problem because now, does Quinton move up to 5 when he doesn't like batting at 5? And if he bats at 5, does he take over the gloves, give the gloves to Cal? And so I think the selectors may have erred in their judgment, especially with this tour, because it would have been a great tour for Reynard Fontonda to follow the guys. I think he learns nothing at SAA because we know how great a talent he is. Let him carry bags or carry drinks on this tour.
So, like I
Sorry,
say,
can I say
I'm
one thing about
hoping
Rassie
that,
real quick?
yeah, you can go.
Sorry, just one thing. Is that because of his age and all of that, he may be on the chopping blocks. But one thing that we have to realize is that when you drop a player, you have to look at his performances vis-a-vis the rest of the team. And if you look at the rest of the batting lineup, Rassie's been one of the standouts.
Yeah.
Sure, his highest is a 98, and in Test matches he hasn't made 100. But you have to look at that performance in comparison to the rest of the team. Because if you make the argument then that Rassie should be dropped, then the counter argument to that would be, well, what did the rest of the team do that I'm being dropped? So I think we should take that into consideration. But my personal view is that I think Rassie is going to be a standout player for this team, and he should spend a lot of time with the Test team. He's going to do wonders.
And I hope he does 100%, because I think that for any youngster that comes into this team, I just want to make a point over here that I just want to say to everybody that I don't believe that players should be undroppable. Whether it is Quinton de Kock, Kagiso Rabada, whether it's Temba, whether it's Aiden, whether it's Dean, whether it's the captain even. I don't believe that people are undroppable if they consistently are performing poorly. They should be let go if they are better in the setup. And my concern from the beginning was South Africa aren't as brave in their selections as I would hope they were. When we were out of this Test championship when Boucher took over already. I didn't believe that the team that we currently had could beat England the way England was performing at the time. Now, my concern was you are not putting players in here that thinking about, look here, we need to build for the next Test championship. The Test championship runs over 2 years. I don't want to be in a predicament where we pick players for a Test championship, they play well for 1 or 2 games, and then half of the season, half the Test championship, they're performing poorly. Same with Dean. I mean, if Dean scores sporadically like he's currently scoring, it could be a detriment to South African cricket. If Aiden doesn't perform well as well on the other end. So, like, Dean is great because he scores big hundreds and it spikes his average up and it spikes his runs for the season up. But there are times when Dean also goes missing when we need him. And that's also very important that we need to look at, because we need to not only pick guys that are scoring the runs at domestic cricket, we also need to pick the guys that have the right mentality, that perform in special situations. That's something that is not teachable. That's something that you have inherently in you. And when you look at guys with character, and that character is what they should be looking for. I know I like to use football analogies a lot, but there's guys like, and I know I use Man United for example, and I'm not only using Man United. When you look at a team like Chelsea as well, a player like Kante, with regards to skill level of passing and dribbling and step overs, he's not a flashy player. He does the basics better than anybody else in that position, and that makes him world class. So I'm looking for play, and the mentality to consistently perform is what I think under pressure situations, when the pressure's on, every single time he performs. And that's the type of players I'm looking for, I'm searching for in South African cricket. And I'm so happy that a guy like Shukri Conrad is saying that that's what he's working on with players. He's trying to think of their mentality. There's an excellent piece in two magazines ago, we did a piece with Shukri. There's even an interview on this channel, so you can check that out. What he's doing with our youngsters, he's making them think differently, and that's what I want to look. But look, you guys, we're already 34 minutes in, and we only got to Rassi. Let's go to number 5. Who's our number 5 currently? Let's start with Tsepo this time around and go to Aditya last.
Come. It's Temba. It's Temba, the vice captain. He has to be number 5. It's his spot. He's had it for a long time, and yeah, that's where he's sitting in the squad here.
Hopefully this time he won't go out for not nicking a ball. Temba Bavuma.
Aditya?
Temba has to be.
I'm going Temba as well, because it depends what we're looking for. So like I said, if we're looking for a future guy, I'll go Calvarena. But for me personally, I think the experience maybe in this particular, it's
pretty even in the
on form as well. On form as well. Temba's been on form as well. If we're gonna give form to players, Temba's been on form since Pakistan. So
yeah, currently, and the double debutant access could be a problem for Mark Boucher to keep his job.
Remember, guys, I'm also thinking about what I think Mark Boucher will do. That's also in the back of my head. So that also goes with my selections.
Yeah. But in the comments, it looks like yeah. And then there's a few Kyles. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mark Boucher at 5. Okay, cool. We'll put him in at 5.
Yeah, 6 for Kyle, 4 for Bavuma in the comment section,
and plus the 3 that's on the 4 that's on the screen as well, so that's 8. Temba Bavuma at 5, guys. I really want to see Kyle play. Like, guys don't understand how badly I want to see Kyle play. Like, I think he deserves it so much.
Can we talk about the other way? So let's say Keegan Peterson doesn't come in at number 3, then Kyle would come in and everyone shifts up. Temba moves to 4, Rassi bats at 3. So if Mark Boucher goes the Kyle route to say, okay, fine, I need to strengthen my middle order, then Keegan would eventually miss out, and then Kyle would come in, and that's something that we need to probably see on the day. But I doubt Mark's going to try and play with that too much.
Are we too hasty, guys? Chip, I want to ask you this question. Are we too hasty, maybe, to want to see Kyle? So, in terms of wanting to see Kyle, because he's still young, he still has so much test cricket in him left for South Africa.
Yeah. So, what Umpa was saying about the double debutant thing, I don't think that would be a good idea. It's going to be either Keegan Peterson or Kyle Verreynne. And I think in this situation, Keegan Peterson is the one that deserves that is edging Kyle out just a little bit, because he's been in the side. He was supposed to have an opportunity earlier at the end of 2020, but then he got injured, or he got sick. And yeah, he needs to come into the side now and at least have an opportunity. And I think he gets 2 games, and then if he doesn't show his mantle there, if he doesn't quite fit into the test squad with those 2 opportunities, then Kyle Verreynne can also get a look in.
No. We can't give guys 2 games. We need to give him our summer. Or if we play test cricket again, he needs to at least get 5 games, not 2.
But then what?
2's not enough.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying 2 games and then we say, okay, Keegan, you done goofed, you're gone. I'm saying you take a break and then we basically have a rotation going. Because if we're going to build for the future, I'm not saying as soon as one flops, we throw them away. I'm saying they sit back for a while and then someone else gets an opportunity to show their stuff. So I think in terms of how we move forward and how we build a squad and how we integrate youth into the system, I think there's a lot to be said about rotation that could also be an alternative way to blood youngsters.
You see, for what's perfect for me is if they do something. So what the aim is over here is to make Keegan Peterson the next senior player in the side that can be a solid guy there for the next 5, 6, 7 years, right? That's obviously the aim that they want with Keegan, to have some seniority at the top of the order that is scoring at a consistent basis. I would like to see the number 6 position be the rotation position. That when a young guy is knocking on the door and has the potential to bat in that top 5, put him in at number 6 to protect him as a youngster, and then let him play a couple of games and get that experience from the guys above him. Because that means that you are guaranteeing that he's going to come out to the middle when there's another senior player at the crease with him. He's never going to be in a situation where there's nobody that's there unless he comes in and we have a major collapse and we lose everybody at once. So, but it also teaches him the right things at the right time, is how to manage his innings, because at number 6 he has to manage his innings, he has to think about the tail, he has to do all of those type of things. So that's what I would like to see in the future, because obviously I've been saying for a long time, when Quinton gives us the gloves, he needs to take more responsibility and move up that order, because he's the best batsman in the Proteas side on talent alone. I mean, if you think about it on talent, and he should be batting at 4 and taking that mantle and really pushing forward as a batsman in the future. But let's not talk about that now, because that's another thing for another day. Number 6, Calverena. Okay, cool. Aditya, let's go to number 7.
You close the voting, you stop the count.
Okay, cool. Number 6, guys.
Number 6 is easy. It's easy.
Quinton de
Quinton de
Kock.
Kock.
All around for Quinton de Kock. Who wants number 6 around? Let's get it in the system. Yeah, I see someone saying Vian Mulder at 6. Why can't move Mulder up in top 5? I mean,
Yeah, there was an argument.
That's the
made
plan.
in our podcast yesterday.
that's the plan in the future for me.
Yeah. Basically making Vian Mulder like the jar color, so giving him more batting responsibility, and really getting him going. And you said that Quinton de Kock needs to move up if he doesn't have the gloves. I think Quinton de Kock is fine where he is. I like Quinton de Kock when he's not under pressure, when he just pops in, gets in, smacks a few balls there. Obviously, with collapses, he'd have to save the innings, but I don't like him saving innings. I like him adding to innings. Using a different sport as an analogy, they were talking about fly halves in the Springbok setup. Andre Pollard is a great all-round fly half, physical, great kicking game. But Alton Yankees is someone you want when you want to accelerate the pace of the game. You don't want him like when there's a lot of pressure. You want him to be expressive and to be to have fun. And that's what I like.
England fans look away.
That's why sometimes I wish that cricket had a subsystem.
We've been there. We've been there. We don't want it back. We don't want it back.
Where there's where you can see wait, we need a faster strike rate here. Let's just bring on I don't know, anybody.
2005 was the weirdest year in cricket. It was so weird.
I don't want Test cricket to be touched, because I think Test cricket is test of the mind.
They did subs in ODIs. It was just awkward.
A lot of people are saying Quinton at 7 and Mulder at 6.
Not yet. I'd agree. Going forward in future, you want Vian Mulder to bat at 6, but he hasn't had enough experience in franchise cricket to bat at 6. Even in his franchise batting, he should be batting at 5 in his franchise. He's batting at 6 in his franchise, and he's being pushed out by guys who aren't even playing in the Proteas. And that for me is an indictment on Vian Mulder to kind of say, dude, you need to work on your batting. You really do. He has some really great cameos, but we want those cameos to turn into big runs. And that's what you want from your number 6. Your number 6 needs to be able to score you 100 runs and put the threat in the opposition. Vian Mulder doesn't do that right now. He can accelerate your runs and give you tidy 30s, 40s, and 50s, but we want him to be the anchor, because if he bats at 6, Quinny can bat in, he knows he's got one of the top 6 to bat with him. But right now, we can't trust Vian Mulder as yet. Yes. But we like him as a nice 7.
Okay, cool. So it's 4 on the screen for Quinton at 6. Then it's 1 for Quinton at 6. That's 5. Don't vote for 7, please, guys. Please vote for 6. You're going to confuse us. Yeah, he loves David Muller. I must get David Muller on the show just for our shit someday.
And for me, I also love David Muller. I've been recently
cool for you too.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome for you too. So who are we gonna pick, guys, at 6?
Quinton de Kock.
They're not really voting over here, guys.
How? Then you just go Quinton de Kock. If you don't, they abstain. That's what abstention.
Okay,
there's no way Barch is going into his first Test series in the West Indies without Quinton de Kock. There's no way.
Okay, so guys, let's just do Quentin at 6 and let's do Vian at 7.
Are we?
Or what?
No, there's a discussion to be had.
There's a discussion
Okay.
there. There's a George Linda in the chats there.
Of course, there's a George Linda in the chat. So what
You
do you
should
guys?
be voting for George Linda.
Yeah, don't
That's-
you love that guy?
I,
Come
I
on.
love Georgie. I love Georgie, but I don't know if the pitch is gonna be. I don't know if the pitch is gonna be for two spinners.
Okay. That's true.
Like, we could-
and I think
I
Charles
mean, two
Lagerfeld
spinners,
kind
we-
of threw us. And I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah, like I was confused by that, by the way they were the talk. Nobody's really speaking about the pitch specifically in detail like we'd want. So anyway, so are we gonna go with two spinners in this particular one? Who's number 7? Because we're gonna go with Quentin at 6. Let me just put it on the screen so long.
So I vote
Aditya,
Mulder at 7.
Aditya, you haven't really said much in a while.
Yeah, I'd go with Van Mulder at 7.
Yeah. That's
I'm also-
3.
That's what
That's
I said, but then the Joe wanted to pull George at me and tried to guilt trip me into saying George.
I mean, when
Hey,
the
I
bowling
thought you
coach
drove-
says that, it feels like England. I
Of
guess.
course,
you
I
gotta
love
go.
George. I love Georgie. He knows
Guys,
it.
are we sure Charles Lagerfeld is just looking at the rain and is like, no, man, it's England conditions? Are we just sure? Are we not sure? Because I'm sitting there going, nah, dude, come on.
I mean, I think
they
I think it's a combined thing, man. Because while they were there, Lungi said, for example, that the weather changes every 30 minutes over there. Okay, obviously not 30 minutes, but maybe not exactly 30. I don't think they're sitting there timing there with their watch. But I mean, like with regards to that, I think he's saying that sometimes it rains and it's a bit chilly, and then it's windy, and then it's like hot and humid. So like that could affect the game a lot. Specifically, I feel the wind.
The other thing I'm saying is that because they're using a juke ball, I'd love to see Vian Mulder bowl with a juke ball. He's probably one of our better swing bowlers. And so I'm excited because I'm like, dude, because he won delivery of the year at the CSA Award, so why not throw him at the West Indies?
Windy in the Windies. That's a good one. That's a good one. Like a Gerard, Gerard Paul, or Gerard Paul. I don't know if it's Gerard or Gerard. Gerard.
So,
The
quick
Paul
question on
throws me
George
off.
Linda.
So just let me know if it's more like Stevie. Let's say Stevie in the comments, or it's like Stevie Gerard, or is it Gerard Paul? Let me know.
Good question. So, quick
Yeah.
Is
question
that Faf
on
in the comments?
it is Faf Duplessis.
Sup, Faf?
Faf says
How
he
you
plays
doing, dude?
7-4.
Can Kyle Verreynne
Hey,
play at
Kyle,
7?
7.
We can play with 4 bowlers.
Faf, in your time as captain, I trust you to use 4 bowlers well, but poor Dean Alga starting out as test captain. Give him an extra bowler.
Please.
What you saying, Tim?
Yeah,
about
and also
Mooma?
with variation as well. Yeah. The problem with George Linda, even though no one voted for George Linda, shame. Does George Linda come to replace Keshav Maharaj as a backup
No.
spinner, or is he there if we
No.
need 2 spinners?
Dude, we've got two other spinners on tour in Shamsi and Penelon Subrian. Like, dude, those guys are just going for vibes. Well, as backups. But let's be serious. They arrived in the Caribbean and they're like, oh, we've taken 4 spinners.
Aiden perhaps can be a 5th bowler.
No, Dean Alga
No.
is my 5th bowler. Joe Root can bowl. Dean Alga can bowl too.
Nah, I'll take Aiden over him.
That was a crazy turning pitch. Yo, he got his FIFA on.
They're just
Okay.
there for vibes. Look,
Guys, 8. I think it's pretty straightforward from here.
Cash.
I don't want to worry about the. Okay, maybe the order. Yeah, the order is important. So Kesh at 8
Yes.
Well, the better batsman of the 4.
of the 4. Yeah. Are we all saying that? Okay, let's just continue
Look,
voting. on
unless
that.
if you want to
Let's-
pick
let's-
Marco
let's-
Jansen, make your case now. Because I think he's the only guy who could probably bat at 8 out of
Yeah.
the bowlers that are remaining.
But then my concern is, okay,
Isn't Marco Jansen a lefty? So you've got one lefty and two righties who are very
Marco
quick.
Jansen is so
He's a right-handed
flippant talented, and
Oh,
he's a
is-
right-handed batsman. He's a right-handed
Right-handed
batsman and a left-handed bowler. Yeah.
I'm talking about the left arm seamer, as Temple calls it, variation.
Variation, bro. The Buren Hendricks variation, because that's the only reason he's in the squad, dog. You know it. That man needs to go. Do you see what you've done? You got me started.
Don't start him on Buren, please.
That guy needs to leave. Too much time.
Okay.
Don't let him start on Buren.
It looks like
wow.
we've got
Buren-
Kesh.
Buren, I love you, okay? You must come on the streams more often and come talk to me about your photography as well, because you're a bloody talented photographer and videographer.
I'm
And
as
we'll
well.
have
Buren is a
Temple
cool
on
guy.
for variation.
No doubt. Buren is a cool guy. Buren, I'd love to meet you. But don't pay for the protest, please. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, so we've got a lot of Keshavs at 8 here in the comment section. So
Yeah,
Give it
so
to the
I'm
man.
also Keshaf at 8. Keshaf at 8 as well. So it's 4 of us, Keshaf and Keshaf in the comment section is 8. And now we go with 9. Let me know. 9, I think KG. Okay, let's vote it like this. KG, Andrich, Lungi. Is that our 3 seamers?
Yebo.
can I
Wait,
make a
Everybody
case
on the
for-
screen saying that.
I know Marco Jansen hasn't played at this level.
I think it's too soon for him.
There is, and this is a discussion point. Is there a case to drop Lungi to give Marco Jansen a run? I do that if we had 3, if it was a 3-test series, to kind of give all my bowlers 2. But my question would be, because they may have some lefties and you might want someone who can bring it in from that angle, maybe bring in Marco Jansen, because you already have 3 right arm
guys.
seamers.
I
It's
like
the number
that a lot.
11 then. It's guys. I think the question is going to be, so it's KG and Andrich. I think people are worried about Lungi at number in the 11 position. So it's
Yes.
Lungi. I forgot completely. Lazard Williams, who I back. I would actually give Lazard a chance in the second test.
That guy's energy.
I think in the
is
first test I'll go with
electric.
it. I love Lazard Williams.
Yeah.
What he brings to this team.
Yeah.
Flipping out,
He's
man.
the one.
So I would
He's the
give
one.
Lungi obviously an opportunity in the first test. I don't know if I love Lungi too. I think he's a great bowler in test cricket as
If
well.
I was playing, so here's the other option. You could also go all seam without Keshav, which is up South Africa's alley. In that
Yeah.
case, I would make a case to actually drop Vian Mulder, drop Keshav, play Kyle, and give either Lazard or Marco Jansen a run
an opportunity.
with the 3 right arm quicks.
That's a very good option actually. If that's
And then you
dependable
tell
on the,
Aiden to bowl his life away in those nets for the next 2 days.
I back that.
That's true.
I do want to see Aiden take more responsibility with the bowling. He looks like the type of chap that, oh, coach, you want me to do something extra? I'll do it. And yeah, I'll give it my whole heart here. So, yeah, I definitely back Aiden to take more responsibility and to thrive under that. So, yeah.
Do you know what the
But, I
concern for
wouldn't
me
do
is,
that.
guys? That I want to ask you. Aditya, I want to ask you this as well. A concern for me is how quickly people are to replace people that have played a lot of international cricket. Like, it doesn't matter if the guys played 40, 50 or whatever, 30 or 12 or 20 games. International experience should weigh more, does it not, over domestic form? I mean, I know Marco is one of my favorites, and Marco comes to the channel quite a bit, so we have a good relationship as well, and his brother. So I'm a big fan of Marco, but I don't feel I've seen enough of Marco in the longest format to say, yes, definitely he deserves to play. Like he's been given a lot of big chances very soon, like straight out of school, especially like, for example, the IPL. No, I never saw that coming. I never saw the IPL call up coming. And it came and he did well. So it shows his mentality. But Test cricket is a very different game, guys. And when it comes to Marco Jansen, in 4-day cricket, if you look at the amount of 4-day cricket he's actually played, it's not been that much, actually. So, yes, for the future, yeah, because Marco's only 20. It's not like he's 20. He's not like Kyle's age, 23, 20, 22, 23. And even that's young. Flipping hell. So like, there's still a long time for Marcus to get an opportunity. But guys, I want you to vote for the number 11 position. The guys in the comment section. Is it Lungi? Is it Lazard, or are we going to be giving Marco Janssen an opportunity and put him at up the order? I don't know what you guys are going to say for that. So let me know in the comment section who you guys are picking so that we can wrap up the stream.
And I agree with you, Khalid, because the other thing is obviously in picking Marco Janssen, it's his ability to last the 5 days and not get
That's my concern.
the ability
That's
to
not the
bowl
skill.
15 overs a day repeatedly.
That's my concern.
To get to it, which is why someone like a Lazard Williams works, but Lazard works in that 7-4 split rather than if you're looking to get another quality, because he's quality, but if you're looking to get to have your quality spinner in the side, then Vian Mulder's a much better option because he gives you a little bit of batting that comes with it. But yeah,
concern is it's a big risk to play a youngster that age that hasn't played a lot of the long format. And fitness-wise on your body, you can completely restore his career if he gets an injury early on,
So,
in a game
but
that's going
here's
to
the
be,
thing.
there's going to be a lot of seam bowling in this particular test. A lot.
Here's the
You
thing.
need guys
West Indies are going to pick a
are conditioned
19-year-old.
for it.
The West Indies are going to pick Jaden Seals to start. And he's only played 10 professional matches and 1 first-class game. So there is an
That's also
argument
another.
to pick them.
Let's see how that goes, though.
He took four for I think 40 in the warm-up game, and he took the wickets of Shai Hope and who was the other dude he got? I think it was Brathwaite. And yeah, it's just. But yeah, I do think Lungi for this one. But the pace issue with Lungi is a problem.
But I don't think there's going to be a problem in this series, though, because in this series he has that additional weapon called the Duke's ball. And even though we're talking about like three right arm bowlers with KG, Andrik, and Lungi, there's still 3 different types of bowlers. And where Lungi will be really dangerous in this series is that he can be used as that metronome sort of bowler, because there will be times when KG and Andrik might go for runs because it's hard to control the Dukes when you haven't played too much of cricket with it. And I feel like that's where Lungi's role is going to be in this test match.
And given that Lungi was having a chat and talking about his skill sets, and he was very much in a lot of video footage over this last couple of days. I think he's going to be the one that they play. And also, he has the experience now as well. I mean, Lungi's also quite young, eh? We like put a lot of pressure on our players, yo. Yes, we want them to be like Jock Callis at the age of 12 already.
Yeah, but you're playing
So, like,
for the Proteas. So obviously, this is the pressure that it comes with. You have the whole nation watching you, so it shouldn't be a surprise, Whether
I mean,
you're
everybody has a dip in form. If you look at KG, KG's currently going through a little bit of a dip. So, like, I think we have two awesome players. Like,
no,
when it comes to them not performing.
But look at how England are ruthless when it comes to dips in form. They have gone through
England
a lot of batsmen.
The size of flipping, like the
to
royal
the point
family
where
size
Hasib
pool in the
Hamid is
backyard.
back, and I'm really excited for him. But I'm like, dude, the dude couldn't cut it in the first time out. He's batting really well now, but like, I think that's where, and it goes to your argument about aggression in terms of selection, and which is why I'd be comfortable having a larger squad. Like a 17-man squad, where if guys are having dips in form, I can look and say, you haven't lost your spot entirely. You're still in the greater squad. I'm just picking somebody else who can come in because you're running out of form. But we don't play 4 test series because we're not a big 3 team. So a 3 test series is really hard to do that. And also in a 2 test series, it's even worse to do that because if you drop someone after the first test, they have to have done something incredibly bad in order to get dropped. So it's a little bit tough. But I vote for 4 test series, by the way, 4-5 test series against all nations.
At
Bring on
least the same
Afghanistan. I'll
amount
play
of
them in
tests.
4 tests.
At least the same amount of
It's
tests
also about the
across the
timing,
board,
though, eh?
because it doesn't make sense.
Asnanda, but because then you can have 2 teams. You can have a test side and you can have a limited over side. There may be little overlap, but then you can actually build your limited over side properly if you do what like Australia did over a couple of years ago, and also when Corona started, by having 2 sides. Like nothing's stopping you. So like I'd rather you have a squad mentality and you can, like a coach, like a soccer coach, for games, be like, no, Lungi, have a rest. Let's get Marco Jansen in fresh legs. Let's go. Let's give him a different angle, a different thing. And if you think of it like that, that's what all these teams have done. Like India did that extremely well in India. Yes, it was injury forced, but every new bowler they tried on Australia seemingly worked.
Yeah, and your point is what I was saying earlier about rotation and how we should rethink how we blood youngsters and how we expose them to the system. Because having them as drinking boys, as water boys, that's nice and all, but at least give them one game, or find a system that doesn't let people slip through the cracks, because that seems to happen far too often in this country. So yeah.
So Aditya, I want you to give your last couple of last couple of words before we end the stream and before I put the team on the screen again.
Yeah, I think
What?
the combined 11 we've picked is likely to be the one that is selected, but you never know with selection surprises there. And Dean Elgar indicated he named Keegan Peterson in one of his press conferences, so I feel like um, he's the one who looks set for a debut. In saying that, I think this is a particularly important tour for batsmen, and uh, we do need to see a few hundreds from the top 6, top 7 maybe, and it looks to be an interesting series. I think even though West Indies will be the home team, I think, as Lungi said, they're still quite evenly matched. Because uh, they're playing in a time when it's the rainy season in the Caribbean, and it looks like overhead conditions and uh, you know ground conditions will have an equal impact on both teams. So let's see how it goes. But I think it's almost evenly placed at this point.
So, guys, I have to cut the stream over here. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for coming on the show, guys. And Paul, Sepo, Aditya. Fans, thanks a lot for voting. You guys really supported us big time on this particular stream. One of you guys said that the daily shows are getting boring. I hope this one wasn't that boring, but I mean, thank you guys for all your support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell for all future videos. Smash that like button. Get this trending. Let's get that 2,000 subscriber mark, guys. Let's get this video trending on all social media platforms. Have a look on all the social media platforms as well: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, for this team that we're going to be posting out there. Let's see what the rest of the fans say about this particular team. Retweet it, like it, comment in the bottom, and hashtag it, and do all of those type of things. We'll see you again tomorrow. It will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, because it's the only time we could work it out with our guy from the Caribbean podcast. So it will be 8 o'clock tomorrow. Our review for the whole test series, but majority of the conversation will be around the first test. So I hope you guys all tune in. You'll see these guys back again. Hopefully Tsepo can come back tomorrow as well. But we will see the rest of the guys definitely on the stream again tomorrow for the preview of the first test. Thanks a lot for
daily
tuning in,
review
everybody.
shows
See you guys
at midnight.
No, we're not going to be doing that, eh? Oh, yes. Let me just explain to you. I'll explain to you guys tomorrow what we're going to be doing for the series. Thanks a lot for tuning in. See you guys again tomorrow. Cheers.